Alright, we are live on TikTok. Finally live. Here we go. Let's see if people start flooding in here. Let's get our screen up. We are tracking this storm. Welcome into those joining. Hello, hello. Hello, everybody. Welcome in. We are still tracking this storm here. Category 5 hurricane, Milton, pretty crazy. We're definitely going to keep an eye on it. Hi Becky, good to see you stopping by. Looks like it might actually die down by the time it gets up to Florida, so that's a good thing. Looks like they're updating the new tracking of Milton right now. Looks like North Carolina is going to get hit as well by the end of it. Georgia as well. Anything in between the two blue lines is where I would be concerned about, that is for sure. Let's see what the other Storm Chaser is saying, Galactic, on his stream. Interesting, I can't see that stream because I'm live. That's dumb of TikTok, but okay. Some of the other hurricanes that we have active. That one's off in the sea, so I'm not worried about that. They've classified this one as a hurricane? Interesting. That doesn't appear to be a hurricane, though. It does right there, though. Interesting. Yeah, the only one that I'd be worried about right now is Milton, though. Is probably the only one that's of concern. That's going straight through Tampa, Florida, Daytona, Florida, Palm Beach, Orlando. So many towns are going to be flooded. Very sad to see. watching this most of today. Or a good amount of today, I should say. Yeah, it looks like it's gonna mainly head up or be worse in South Carolina, possibly. Looks like Palm Bay, Port St. Lucie, West Palm Beach. Looks like those areas could get some severe weather. I wonder if I'm missing any chats. I'll see if I can pull up stream on my phone. I feel like I'm missing a lot of people chatting. That'd be weird though. Shouldn't be missing anything. I should be able to see chat just fine, but it's not fully loading. Or chat's just not going, I don't know. Cape Coral could get some severe weather as well. On the 10th. I'm surprised they pushed it back so far to the 10th though. That doesn't make sense to me. I think it'll be there earlier. I think Georgia, South Carolina, and North Carolina are going to get some severe weather as well. And parts of Virginia Beach. August, Georgia. Let's look that up real quick. There's a way that I can look up towns as well to keep track of their weather. August, Georgia. Or Augusta, Georgia, my bad. Yeah, no worries. Let's look back at the model real quick. old model, because that's the updated one at the moment. I think that was just going to get rain in Augusta, Georgia. Yeah, it looks like it's just going to be rain. Possible heavy rain too, but just rain at the moment from what they're showing. And from what they're saying, it's going to be on the 10th or the 11th at night. But I think the hurricane's going to hit much earlier than that. But it's still at least one day out, so it's hard to tell. By tomorrow afternoon, we'd have more and better information on it. Yeah, that's weird. The chats aren't showing up on my actual chat. That's weird. Moving fast. Yeah, I think it's moving pretty fast. I mean, let's put this at the middle. Start it from the back. If we actually watch the sensor eye on where it goes, it doesn't even follow the track. It's north of it. Way, way, way north of it. So it could be further north than what we expect, because the center line where it has the 5s, that's where they're expecting the eye to be. But if we see the radar and what they're showing and predicting, it's north of all that. Way further north. So possibly even Alabama could get something too. Right there it's deformed though. I think once it gets to land though, the second it hits land, I think it's just going to deform completely and go to like a category 1 or tropical depression. But then afterwards it does reform a little bit. Well, no, not anymore I guess. But yeah, I'd say at least Georgia, South Carolina, and North Carolina are going to get hit. Parts of them at least. Let me see if I can find that place as well. I can't see chats for some reason. I can only see them pop up for like a moment on the screen. Very weird. Florida, let's see. Ooh, yep, you're in that red, so Apuca, Florida is definitely going to get hit. I don't know how bad. Let's look at the model with it shown. Old model, because the new one's not up to date yet. So from today until I'd say the 10th or the 8th, it's just going to be rain off and on. But then by the 9th and 10th, yeah, I'd say Puka, Florida will be hit, because that's pretty much the center of where it's going to be. Because Tampa, Orlando, Daytona, that's pretty much the center of it there, those 3 cities. The radar itself is showing the storm to be more north than what the actual line is saying. It'll be crazy bad? Possibly. I mean, I'd expect high winds above 100 at least. Maybe up to 120, but I don't think it'll be any more than that. Because from what the radar is showing, once it hits land, like the second it hits land, it immediately starts to weaken, which is a good thing. But it still could reach up to 120 mile an hour wind speed. So it still could be pretty bad. I'd say it'd probably be a category 3, category 2 when it goes through Florida. And then maybe a category 1 when it starts to leave Florida. I'd say windows, siding, at least, possibly roof damage. I don't know if it would completely take the roof off, but it is possible. I know most people in Florida are being forced out of Florida. It just varies per county. But in my opinion, if they were in this red box anyway, above and below, or in this blue box even, anybody in that area, I would suggest either going north or going south. Because it's probably not the best idea to stay there, but if it weakens enough, depending on what tomorrow shows, it really depends on what tomorrow shows on what would happen. But from what it shows right now, it would be better to either go north or south for at least the people in Tampa. More so the people on the edge of the water, like right on the beach line. So Clearwater, St. Petersburg, Northport, places like that on the edge, Daytona Beach kind of. Those kinds of places would be places to evacuate. I know they're requiring other counties to evacuate, but I don't know which ones. I'm surprised they're tracking it all the way out to the ocean. That's shocking to me. It doesn't really make sense to track it all the way in the ocean. Yeah, we'll definitely keep an eye on this thing. I think over the next couple of days I'll try to stream the hurricane as well as much as I can. See what's going on. For some reason though, I still can't see the TikTok chat, which is very weird. I swear TikTok's been getting worse lately about everything. Not the best. Still works for most people though. Maybe it's just my side, I don't know. Yeah, right now it's a category 5. In the Gulf of Mexico. Welcome into those joining or stopping by. If you have questions, do let me know. I'll be able to answer them, or try to at least. I wonder if we can see the storm through the buoy system that's down there right now. I'm gonna say it's probably pretty dark. Yeah, there's some good pictures of it. The end of it, at least. As it gets darker, it'll be harder to see, of course. What's the wind speed on this one? 35. Yeah, if this is getting 26 mile an hour wind speed here and 33 gusts, that means the hurricane is very, very strong. That buoy's not even operational. Some of these buoys are offline, shockingly. Yeah. Keep an eye on this as much as we can, though. Answer questions if need be. If you guys have questions, let me know. I'll answer them where I can. Yeah, I'm really curious as to what tomorrow is going to show for this hurricane. Because I think it'll be there earlier than Thursday. That's just my guess, though. And if that's the case, then there's going to be no warning for it, really. We'll see what happens. Hopefully it's not that bad on Thursday or Wednesday. I think it might downgrade eventually because them putting that at category 5 in this area is a little weird to me. Doesn't make that much sense. Thanks for the follow though earlier, appreciate that. Welcome into those joining. We're keeping an eye on Hurricane Milton. Look at the landfall time here. Looks to be 6 a.m. on the 10th, but I think it'll be earlier than that. I think it'll be much earlier. If you have questions, do let me know. I'll see if I can answer them. Assuming TikTok lets me see chat. Sometimes the comments don't come through for some reason. It's weird. I swear TikTok's kind of struggling. Vero Beach. Let me check. Vero Beach, Florida. That's in the red zone, so it is in danger of being hit by the hurricane. Looks like it's after the landfall, so I'd say it wouldn't be that bad though. Let's look ahead at that though. Looks like rain expected on the 9th. Off and on, and then by the 10th around 3 a.m. the hurricane does hit. So they did push it back earlier again instead of 6 a.m. But around around, yeah, in between 6 a.m. and 12 p.m. on the 10th, which is Thursday, it'll make landfall. From what they're saying. If you're within this red shape at all, if you're in this area, I would evacuate or at least go north or south to a shelter in between the blue lines there. Anywhere in here, I would plan on going to a safe place other than staying. Depending on what it really shows tomorrow, because today we can't fully predict what it'll say for landfall, but what they're saying right now is it'll be 125 mile an hour wind speed, which can rip windows out, siding off, it can do roof damage and more. So it definitely would be better to be prepared ahead of time. I would definitely get shopping done today if possible. Yeah, anything inside the red is definitely a potential danger zone. For some reason chat isn't showing up on my chat where it's supposed to be though. It's so weird. Yeah, tomorrow afternoon or tomorrow morning they'll probably have a better idea of where and when it's gonna hit. Because right now it looks to be a little all over the place. Right now they're saying Thursday at 6 a.m. though is when it's supposed to make landfall. High Springs. Let's see if we can find that. High Springs, Florida. Let's check that out. That is just inside the red, so yeah, it'd be less likely to be as bad there than it would be more towards the inside, but I'd still be ready just in case. Yeah, right there is where it was. Yeah, that's gonna be some really heavy wind in High Springs, Florida. But anything inside the red, I would definitely prepare or go to a shelter or go north or south. But we'll definitely know more by tomorrow, because today is a little bit early to be able to know how bad it's going to be. See if we can find another place that you guys are looking for. Most common thing I'm seeing. St. Augustine. We'll look at St. Augustine real quick. Looks like a little bit of rain right now, actually. Yeah, St. Augustine is in that red zone as well. Not too far in it, which is a good thing, but it is, yeah, in that red zone. And it looks like the eye is just going to be just south of St. Augustine. So that'll definitely be a place to be careful in. Thanks for the follow, appreciate it. Let's see if you guys got any other places to let me know. I'll see if I can look them up real quick. Miami. That's out of the red. I wouldn't see you having to evacuate Miami, but I'd expect some heavy rain or at least some kind of rain in Miami. West Palm Beach in Florida. That's pretty close to Miami, so I'd say about the same as Miami, really. Just some really heavy rain. Because most areas in here is just going to be heavy rain. The more concerned area would be up in this area here. That's where I'd be more concerned, up in here. Jacksonville is going to be just north of the eye later on. So can expect some strong winds, heavy rain. Let's see if we can find that. Naples, Florida. That's out of the red, so you'll be clear of having to evacuate fully unless it's required, which most places in Florida are starting to become required to evacuate. But looks like Naples is going to get some really strong wind on the 9th and 10th overnight, and then towards the morning of the 10th. We got Naples right here. Georgia area. Looking into Georgia a little bit more if you see your town name. Georgia's pretty much out of the red zone. Other than St. Mary's, I'd be a little concerned there. But Georgia's pretty much out of it for the most part. It'll just be rain and heavy rain. Track another place real quick. Lakeland, Florida. I'm seeing that pop up quite a bit in chat, so we'll peek at Lakeland real quick. Lakeland is going to be dead center of it from what they're saying right now. It's right on that line. Anything within this line, I'd say about 100 miles to 150 miles, I would be concerned of slight damage possible. So anything about 100 to 150 miles away of the center, which is in this whole circle here. But yeah, Lakeland is definitely in the center of it. So can expect some high winds there. Fort Myers, I believe it's south if I'm correct. Find Fort Myers real quick. Fort Myers. Yeah, that's in the red zone as well, so possible damage there. Definitely flooding. I expect most of Florida to get flooding in the red. Miami's out of it, just expecting some rain or heavy rain in Miami. I'm still thinking it's going to hit Florida earlier than what they're thinking, but we don't know. Yeah, it looks like Fort Myers is just going to get some heavy rain on the 9th at night towards the 10th to most of the morning on the 10th. Beach, we're seeing that pop up a little more again. West Palm Beach, Florida, we'll peek at that. That's out of the red zone, so that's a good sign to start. Orlando's dead in the middle, so you can expect some severe wind there. West Palm Beach, though, looks like most of the 9th is just going to be rain. Towards the 10th in the morning is going to be some heavy rain. And that's pretty much it for West Palm Beach. But we'll know better tomorrow because it'll probably shift more by then or change. So for now it's a little bit difficult to tell where it's going to be. Tomorrow we'll have better information. Orlando's dead in the middle. It's on the line. Because if we see the red zone, if you guys see the whole red zone inside the blue here, pretty much anything in the red zone is at risk of damage. Anything inside the red. This is the main line right here, where you see the 1, 3, 4, 5 categories. The main line is where the center of it is going to be, so the closer to the center, the worse the damage. So anything about 100 miles out, 120 miles out, to 150 miles could expect some heavy rain and flooding. Jacksonville. Check out Jacksonville again. Pretty sure we've seen Jacksonville already. Jacksonville is just outside of the red, but part of it is inside if we think of city limits. Let's look at the storm ahead. So yeah, Jacksonville is just outside of that limit though. Let's look ahead on that. Jacksonville could get, depending on if it moves more north. I'm using Radar Omega. It's an app that you can download either on your phone or computer, but it does cost money. I think like $10 or something like that. Yeah, it looks like Jacksonville's gonna get some really heavy rain. Possibly even hail too, because that's some pink purple there. Definitely heavy rain for Jacksonville, Florida. Around the 10th. Yeah, over the next 2 days, counting the 9th and 10th, Jacksonville will get some severe heavy rain. Even possibly on the 11th a little bit, towards the early morning. If you guys have any other town names that you want checked for friends, family, or yourself, let me know. Just need the town name, and I'll be able to possibly look it up. Winter Haven, Florida. We'll check that out real quick. That's in the red zone, very close to the center as well, so high winds, possible flooding I'd expect. Again, anything within the red is going to be high winds and risk of flooding. Yeah, looks like Winter Haven's gonna have some heavy rain and be really close to the eye, so I'd expect some high winds there as well. Yeah, if you're in Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, or maybe even North Carolina, parts of it, I would definitely be doing some shopping, getting prepared for the next 4 to 5-ish days from what they're saying, because by roughly the 11th on Friday, it'll be offshore. So over the next few days, it'll definitely be lingering around. Let's see if we have any more town names we need to check for people though. It's so hard for me to see chat because it's only on the one screen, so that's weird that I can't see it on the main chat. We'll see if we can find any more town names that you guys want to be looked up. Phyllis Park, if I'm pronouncing that right. Sorry if I'm not. Next to St. Petersburg, I know that. That I can pronounce. So sorry if I mispronounce any of these town names though, or city names. Yeah, that's pretty much gonna be in the eye of it as well, near St. Petersburg. By the 9th, towards the afternoon, just heavy rain, strong wind by the 10th in the morning. That'll be a direct hit though for this area here. St. Petersburg is definitely going to get a direct hint. Tampa, Florida is going to get a direct hint. Orleans Orlando, Florida is going to be really close to getting a direct hit. Palm Coast and possibly Daytona is going to get a direct hit, but not for sure on those two. Because it does dissipate right here. Thankfully it does weaken as it starts making landfall though, so that'll be good. Let's see if we can catch any more town names. There is some rain yet in Florida right now though, for the live radar. Very interesting. They don't need rain already. Looks like most of it's South Florida though. Yeah. Most of that rain today is South Florida. And if you guys need a town looked up or a place looked up for friends, family, or yourself, just let me know what town or city name it is and I can look it up. I'll see if I can catch any of it on the chat because it's so small for me. There we go, I tried to zoom in a little bit more. TikTok Studio gives me a chat that I can see, but it doesn't show like what you guys actually say, so that's so weird. Very weird how TikTok works. Davenport, let me see. Davenport, Florida, right? Yeah, Davenport, Florida. I was thinking Davenport, Iowa, honestly, because there's a Davenport in Iowa. It looks like Davenport is on that center line as well, so that's going to be severe wind and rain coming. Depending on what your county says, like the county line, whichever county it's in, will also vary on if you need to evacuate or not. I know some counties in Florida are requiring people to leave, which is not a bad thing. Anybody in the red, I would consider either going south to Miami or north to maybe Tallahassee, Florida. That's where I would consider going at the moment for anybody in the red. But looking ahead here, yeah, they keep extending it back further and further because now it's saying it's going to be 9 a.m. when it hits landfall. So tomorrow afternoon on Tuesday, we should know better information because right now they're just going to keep updating it non-stop. But tomorrow we'll have better information on it, on when it's actually going to hit land or where it's going to be, because the eye looks pretty north compared to the center line to me. But that place that we had looked up, Davenport, Florida, that's going to be just south of the eye. It is on that center line right now, so I would expect some heavy rain, some heavy wind, up to 100-mile-an-hour wind speed possible. We'll definitely have to keep an eye on that. If you guys have any other town names, cities, or any other place that you want to look for your family, friends, or yourself, let me know. Just the city name or town name and I can figure it out. Hi Galactic, how's it going? Hopefully your stream went well. I was watching it as much as I could, but the stream kept going in and out towards the end there that I was watching. It was quite weird. I think I've seen 120 people stop by here so far, something like that. Not bad for a small streamer. I'm surprised I'm even able to stream though. Yeah. Well, what I find annoying is that they keep setting it back, because now it's saying it's going to be 9 a.m. when it makes landfall. This says 6 a.m. on the 10th, but when we actually look at it on radar, when the eye actually starts to hit land, that's 9 a.m. So, I don't know. I think tomorrow we'll have better information and we'll be able to call it out a little bit more then, but today it's a little bit rough. But the best thing to really be said is anything in the red is a place to not stay. Let me see if I can find that town for you real quick. Mount Dora Lake. Yeah, that's in the red as well, pretty close to the center line. If we're looking ahead, if I'm correct, that's actually going to be right where the eye is going to end up. Heavy rain or light rain already on the 9th in the morning for Dora, Florida, Mount Dora. But yeah, that's going to be pretty much right in the eye from Mount Dora, Florida. So I would either suggest going to the store, packing a few things that you need, and going northeast to Tallahassee, Florida, or going south to Miami. Depending on what county you're in and what is being said about the county, Florida is requiring making people leave some areas. Which the models would update. Yeah, the latest model isn't even updating, it's at 48%. That's what's funny, Galactic. Every single time I look at the models and stuff these days, it's always changing every 2 seconds. I don't think we can predict past 48 hours. I think we can only predict weather up to 24 hours, honestly. Yeah, they definitely need to update the models. They keep pushing it back though. And from looking at it on the radar itself, it keeps pushing itself back. Because right now it says 9 a.m. on the 10th is when it's going to make landfall. I think it's either going to be earlier than that or much later. It's one of the two. I don't think it's going to be the 10th around 6 in the morning from what they're saying. I think the wind will definitely be there in between 100 mile an hour wind speed to 130, maybe 140. But I don't think it'll be more than that by the time the storm actually gets to Florida. But we'll know more tomorrow for sure. Oh, you know what's funny though, Galactic? I think sometime in December or January, I'll finally be able to start chasing, because I'm thinking about getting a secondary phone so that I can actually start live streaming. Hopefully soon I can get out there and start chasing. I don't think I'll be able to make it all the way to Florida from where I'm at. That's over 1,000 miles, but I'll at least be able to chase something, you know? Again, if you guys joining, if you guys have questions on your town or city, just let me know where it is and I can look it up so that you guys can find some information on it. TikTok allows me to actually see the messages, because for some reason it's not. It's very weird how it's working. Because I see the live chat to the side and it shows when people join and it shows people following chatting, but it doesn't show other people chatting. So the only person that I see chatting technically is Galactic, but then when I look at the live preview screen, what it's showing for you guys, I can see the actual chat. The chat settings. We're at in the chat settings though. Oh, high potential spam filter. exciting is it though, Galactic? Live data show real-time viewers, yeah, pop out. Yeah, that's weird that it doesn't show some of the chats. Welcome in though to those stopping by. Actually, let the tropical storm play itself. If you guys have questions on a specific town or city, do feel free to ask. I can probably answer it. I have a feeling it's gonna definitely downgrade though from a 5 to at least a 3 or 2 before it makes landfall. Welcome into those stopping by. If you have questions about a city or a town, feel free to ask. I'll try to answer it where I can. This is Radar Omega, an app that you can download on your mobile phone or on your computer. It costs $10 for a one-time pay, and then if you're wanting more advanced data, it costs up to $12 monthly, which is not bad, but it's one of the most accurate systems that I've ever used, in my opinion. A lot of storm chasers like Reed Timmer, Vince Welty, Connor and Freddie McKinney, people like that use this Radar Omega app quite often. Speaking of storm chasers, we can probably see a few of them on ground. I don't know if we can see their POV camera though. Looks like we have Aaron down in Tampa, Florida right now. Probably preparing. We got Brandon up north. He is heading south from Georgia into Florida. Pretty sure we got Vince already in Florida as well. I think Vince is with Aaron actually. Yeah. Pretty sure they're down over there somewhere. Welcome into those joining though. If you have questions about a specific city or town, do feel free to ask. Just let me know what town it is and I'll try to figure it out. I wonder how the tropical storms are doing over in this area here. There was one hitting Japan not long ago. Must have evaporated. Let me see if I can find that for you. Greco, Florida, if I'm pronouncing that right. Sorry if I'm not. Okay, that's pretty close to Tampa. So that is in the red zone here. So anything within the red zone can expect heavy rain regardless. So that'll be heavy rain at least. Let's look at the data that we have available to us to see what else we can expect for that place. We're looking at Veraco, Florida at the moment. So we're expecting most of the rain to start on the 9th in the morning. And then towards later at night on the 9th, For Wednesday, we can expect more heavy rain to start hitting. And then by the 10th at 9 a.m. is when we're expecting landfall at the moment. And then it does dissipate a little bit, but it will go into South Carolina, North Carolina, and Georgia just a bit. But anybody within the red, inside the red here, Florida, anybody in there I would suggest either going north to Tallahassee, Florida, or south towards Miami, Florida for a shelter or anything like that. Because they are expecting winds up to 125 mile an hour wind at the moment. Which, if I'm correct, that can either lift roofs off of homes, it can do siding damage, windows can crack and break. Lots of damage can be done with that. Flooding will be expected along the shores, of course. Let me see. I wonder how much flooding we're expecting, honestly. So let's look at some of these other watches and warnings they actually have up right now. Thanks for the follow, appreciate that. That helps us be able to keep giving you guys weather updates. So this storm surge is expecting a Category 3 hurricane up to 120 mile an hour wind speed with gusts of wind up to 155. Storm surge height that they're expecting though. St. Petersburg, Clearwater, Largo. Those are the expected locations for a storm surge. About 11 to 15 feet above ground. Wow. That's pretty high. Planning for extreme life-threatening storm surge, flooding greater than 9 feet above ground. That's like 3 of me, because I'm 5'9" something. Wow, that's gonna be really big storm surge. Wow. Again, anybody in this red cone, you can expect some heavy rain at the least. We'll keep an eye on the storm surge at least. Looks like it's most of that blue area though. If you guys are trying to figure out a weather for a friend, family, or any of that, just let me know what the town name or city name is and I'll try to figure it out. I can go back to look it up here. Be ready for the first town name I see. Palm Beach. Palm Beach, Florida was not in the red, but it is going to expect heavy rain later on in the 10th, if I'm correct. Let's take a look at that model. Thanks for the follow, appreciate it. That helps us be able to keep producing weather for you guys live. Yeah, so on the 10th, pretty much dead at 12 a.m. on the 10th, you can start to expect rain in Palm Beach, Florida. Could get up to some hail as well. Not for sure though. Union Park in Orlando, Florida. Orlando's gonna get directly hit head on. So anyone in Tampa Bay, or not Tampa Bay, but Tampa, Florida, Orlando, and Daytona, those 3 cities are going to be the main center target for the storm. Fairly quick storm. It really varies because most of our data that we have right now is off. Our main data that we'll get is going to come tomorrow. So tomorrow midday to tomorrow afternoon we'll know a lot more. But from what they've been doing, the National Weather Service, they've been pushing it back further and further. Because it was supposed to hit, the eye of the hurricane was supposed to hit on the 9th at 11 p.m. or something like that. but now it's supposed to hit Thursday on the 10th, around 6 a.m. So I'd say by tomorrow we'll know some more information. Welcome into those watching though. Appreciate all of you for stopping by. Try to get as much info out to you guys as I can. Appreciate all the follows. Aaron Park, that is a town that I see popping up. Let's see if we can find what's going on there. That's up in Florida. Let's see if I can see any other town names that you guys are saying often in chat. Crystal River, let's look that up. Crystal River, Florida, that is in a red zone and a storm surge area or warning. So I would expect a storm surge in Crystal River that's going to be up to 9 feet high as well from what they're saying. But by the 9th, around 3 to 6 a.m. rain will start coming down on Florida either way. And then looks like the eye is going to be really close, so I would expect some high winds as well there in Crystal. Around 6 a.m. on the 10th of Thursday. So I would expect some really strong winds there. The eye just misses just south of that as well. By maybe 20 miles, 15 miles-ish. 8 miles it looks like. Very, very close, but I would expect heavy wind and rain at Crystal. Miami, Florida is going to be okay. I would expect just some heavy rain in Miami, Florida, for those wondering. Miami is going to be okay. Let's see, what's another popular town name that I see popping up? Tampa Bay, Tampa, Florida, and St. Petersburg is going to be head on. So I would expect, yeah, Tampa has mandatory evacuation as well. But Tampa's going to be hit head on. St. Petersburg, I would expect that to be mandatory to leave as well. Orlando is going to get heavy wind and rain. Anything in the red, though, anything in the red is where the worst of it is going to be. Anything in this red box right here. That's where the worst of it is going to be. We'll have better data and info tomorrow as well, towards the midday or afternoon. Orlando, Florida is going to get hit head on, not by the eye, but by some strong winds and heavy rain. But anything in the red is going to get severe rain and possible heavy wind. More towards the north of Jacksonville, Florida. Tampa is being evacuated at the moment. Tampa, Florida. Palm Bay is going to expect some heavy rain. I think that's going to be it for the most part there in Palm Bay, though. Daytona is going to be hit partially head on by the eye, so Daytona is going to expect very strong wind and heavy rain. Miami, Florida is going to be fine. It's just going to be heavy rain in Miami. That is about it. I see Jupiter popping up quite often, so let's look up Jupiter, Florida. Let's see if we can get some stuff going for Jupiter, Florida here. They're going to be out of the red, which is a good thing. Yeah, just like West Palm Beach. That's just going to be heavy rain. Possible tornadoes. I would say possible severe weather in this area later on. But it really varies on what the data says tomorrow. Because today it's a little bit early. The National Weather Service and all of them can only predict up to really 24 hours if I'm being honest. Cape Coral. There's going to be heavy rain, possible hail as well on the 10th in the morning. It's going to be a nighttime hit as well for Cape Coral. Yeah, if you're inside the red zone, I would be prepared. Either have food, water, a radio with you, anywhere in that blue box right there. I would definitely be prepared or either evacuate to Tallahassee, Florida, or Miami, Florida even. Tallahassee, Florida and Miami, Florida are probably going to be the two best places to evacuate to at the moment. For people in Georgia, South Carolina, and North Carolina, it'd be best to either strap things down, prepare for heavy rain, possible strong wind, I say, in this area later on as the storm continues up north and then fades east. Palm Coast. Let's look up Palm Coast. Thanks for the follows. I really appreciate that. That helps me be able to continue to give you guys weather. Palm Coast, Florida. That is in the red zone. North of the center, so that's a good thing. Won't be as bad, but you will expect heavy rain at least. Yeah, people that are following, I can actually see their chats. That's interesting on why TikTok's doing that, but oh well. Yeah, again, anybody in the red is going to have at least heavy rain to severe heavy rain. Palm Coast, Florida is going to have their rain start around the 9th in the morning. And then heavy rain around 3 a.m. on the 10th. But it looks like Palm Coast, Florida will be in that center of the eye. So I would expect strong winds up to 100 miles an hour towards 130 mile an hour wind. So I would consider evacuating that area in Palm Coast, Florida. Again, if you're in Tampa, you're being required to evacuate. If you're in St. Petersburg, Orlando, Daytona Beach, any area in this small blue box here, I believe you are being required to evacuate. Anybody in this blue box here. Miami is only going to get heavy rain from Miami, Florida. So Miami, Florida is going to be okay. I see Dover, Florida. Dover, Florida is going to be pretty close to the eye. They're right by that line. So it's going to be the same thing. Strong wind, heavy rain can be expected by the 9th or 10th. Most of our data is going to be more updated tomorrow. So if you guys come back tomorrow for tomorrow's weather stream, we'll have updated info as well. More updated info there tomorrow. Because today they're just gathering the info. They sent one of the planes through the storm about an hour ago to gather data for tomorrow. Miami, Florida is going to be okay. We'll check Sebring here. Sebring, Florida. Sorry if I'm pronouncing any town name incorrectly. Just south of the center line in the red zone still. So I would expect heavy rain at least. Possible strong winds. Yeah, rain throughout the 9th, off and on. And then the 10th in the morning, it's going to be more heavy rain. And that's pretty much it for there. It looks like the eye is going to be north by 100 miles there. So still could get some strong winds there, but not for sure. It depends on what tomorrow's data looks like. Lakeland. We'll look at Lakeland real quick. Lakeland, Florida. That's right in the center by Tampa. I'm pretty sure they're going to be evacuated as well at some point. But Lakeland is going to be really close to the eye of the storm, so expect 100-mile-an-hour wind speeds and higher, and heavy, heavy rain. Spring Hill. Spring Hill, Florida. Where are we at? Bit north of the line. Pretty much just north of Tampa, yeah. I would expect pretty much the same thing as Lakeland. Some strong wind, heavy rain. Spring Hill is going to be more in the eye of the hurricane when it comes to hit, though. Looking at the data that we have. Let's see if our new data is actually on land yet. Yeah, it is. Okay, so this is what our new data looks like that they've gathered so far. We're looking at Spring Hill at the moment. Spring Hill, Florida. It's going to be pretty much in the eye of the hurricane from what they're saying now. Thanks for the roses, guys. Appreciate it. Yeah, Spring Hill would pretty much be in the center of it, so expect winds above 120, 100 mile-an-hour wind speed, and heavy, heavy rain. Let's see if I can catch another town name that is being said very often. Look at Jacksonville real quick. Pretty sure we've seen Jacksonville earlier, but Jacksonville is just out of the red by, not by much. But when you look at the data later on for Jacksonville, they will get some heavy rain. Looks like the 9th, most of the 9th on Wednesday is just going to be some rain for everybody. And then later on in the 10th, early morning is when it's going to start getting severe on the 10th of Thursday. And it'll be heavy rain for the most part. For all of this area, I'd say here, it's going to be heavy rain. And then anywhere in the red line down here is going to be strong winds. Anywhere down in here is going to be stronger winds and rain. See if we can catch another town. Most of our data is going to be updated tomorrow, guys, so if you guys do come back tomorrow, you'll have more updated info versus today, because today it's really bouncing around. Alrighty. We're looking at this town next, if you guys can see it on the screen there, Daytona. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing that at all. It is going to be in the red, so you're going to expect heavy rain regardless. Heavy to moderate rain. I wonder if the eye is actually going to go over that later on, because that was pretty close to Daytona and the other place. I would think it does. Yeah, it's going to pass just north of it and then eventually fall south into it. So you're going to expect winds of 130 around here. Anywhere in this area you can expect winds of 130, if not stronger. Alright, we'll check out Polk City real quick. I see that being said quite often. Polk City, Florida. That's right on the line of the center, so that would be heavy rain regardless. And I believe the eye moved more north, so I don't know if that would be the worst of it here in Polk City. Looks like it just misses the eye by a little bit though. But I would still expect winds up to 100 mile an hour. Let's see if we can catch another town for you guys. Okay, Curl. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing any of these town names. That's just on the edge of it next to Fort Myers. I would just expect some heavy rain there. I don't think the eye or any of the strong wind is going to make it down to there. But you never know. It could end up shifting by tomorrow or anything. Looks like you could possibly expect some hail as well here. So that could do window damage to cars and more. But it looks like it's just going to be super heavy rain, possible hail there as well. I think I saw Fort Myers in chat, so we'll check Fort Myers real quick. I believe we've seen Fort Myers earlier. They are on the edge. They're going to have a storm surge warning, and that storm surge is going to be 9 feet. About 11 to 15 inches of water. Possibly high as well. But yeah, most of these areas is just going to be heavy rain outside of the red, but anything inside the red here is going to be the more dangerous area. Another town name being said quite often. We'll check out Port Charlotte. Port Charlotte, Florida is going to be in the red. They're going to have that storm surge as well. Definitely going to expect rain and heavy rain. We'll look ahead here real quick towards the 10th and the 9th. Yeah, it looks like you guys could expect some strong winds here as well in Port Charlotte. Because the eye is not far north of you guys here. About 80 to 100 miles north. Let's see if I can catch any other town names. Hard to really see some of the town names because for some reason my chat that I see only shows people that are following. So people that are following, I can see their chat easier, but it's harder to read those other ones that are faster. Palm Bay, I saw that one. I'm not trying to make people follow, but it's just weird how TikTok is working at the moment. Palm Bay is in that red zone though, so I would expect the stronger rain in that red zone, of course. I don't think Palm Bay is going to get the worst of it though. Probably just some heavy rain and possible winds up to 80 mile an hour wind speed. Let's check some of these other towns that you guys are saying here. I see Dade City. Dade City, Florida is in that red, just north of the line. I would expect the eye to actually go through that, because the eye does go north of that line just by a little bit. So Dade City will be hit by the eye of the storm. So I would expect wind up to 130, possibly lower than that, maybe even 140 could be. But heavy rain expected for sure. Not in that storm surge area there for Dade City, so that's a good sign. But the eye definitely goes through there. Thanks for the dolphin, appreciate it. Yeah, I would expect Dade City to get hit pretty hard as well, because anybody along this line here, I'll see if I can highlight it in my blue so you guys can see it better. Anybody along this line here in Florida, you're probably going to get the worst of it there. So Tampa is going to be cleared. Not completely destroyed, but Tampa, Florida should be I know it's built stronger, so it's okay. I don't think they're evacuating Orlando yet, but I would still suggest getting north. The places that I would probably suggest going to is either Miami, Florida, or Tallahassee, Florida. Those are probably going to be the best places to be if you're trying to evacuate. Let's see if I can catch another town name that is being said often here. I see Spring Hill, Florida. Spring Hill is in that red zone, so you're going to expect heavy rain regardless. You're just north of Tampa, so you're going to be in the eye of the storm, expecting winds from 100 to 135, roughly, on the 10th. Let's see if I can catch another town here. Curry, Florida. Ooh, that is way off. That is the first town that I've actually seen outside of the red zone that far. So let's look into that a little deeper. So I wouldn't expect too craziness, but looks like we're going to expect some rain to moderate rain in Perry, Florida. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing that also. And then on the 10th, we're going to expect some more heavy rain in that area up in here for most of the morning, and then it's just going to be off and on throughout the day on the 10th. Looks like they pushed it back even further onto the 11th as well now. Very interesting. So yeah, I think most of our more accurate information is going to be here tomorrow because the National Weather Service and NOAA are collecting their data today to try to get more information out of it. Let's see if I can catch another town name here. Seminole, Florida, if I'm pronouncing that correct. If not, I apologize for that. St. Petersburg is pretty close to that. So we've been through St. Petersburg, Tampa, Orlando, Daytona Beach. Those areas are going to be the hot zones, as I would call them at this point, where it's going to be the eye of the storm, the strongest. Tampa, Florida is already being evacuated. That's a requirement at this point. This area will likely be a requirement to be evacuated. If you don't know if you're required to evacuate, I would check with your county. So there's a website, floridasomething.gov, I believe, that you can check your county name and see if it's required to evacuate or not. But for the people that were asking about this town here, looks like it's going to be some heavy rain and pretty much the eye of the storm. So I would expect the wind to be upwards of what they're saying here, 125 to 155 gusts of wind, which is really, really strong. Let's see if we can catch another town name for you guys to help you guys out for those of you in Florida or tracking weather. Ocala, Florida, if I'm pronouncing that right. Sorry if I'm not. That's north of the main line. So I wouldn't expect it to be as bad, but we will find out here as we look forward in the days. Most of it's going to start on the 9th from what the National Weather Service is saying. But towards the 10th in the morning, it's going to get heavy, heavy rain in most of Florida. Any of the yellow that you guys see is going to be heavy rain. Any of the orange or reds that you see is going to be severe rain. We'll take this down so that way you guys can see those colors. Again, any of the green, the light green is going to be light rain. Towards the red to dark red and even purple is going to be heavy rain to hail. FloridasDisaster.org. There you go. Galactic got it there. You guys can see that in chat now. See if I can pen that in chat. Doesn't look like it. Let's see if we can catch another town name for you guys real quick. Most of the better information for the storm is going to come tomorrow, and I will be live tomorrow as well, so we'll be able to go over that. Riverview, Florida. Riverview, Florida is just below that line, so I would expect it to have severe rain and wind as well. You are in that red zone for when it does make landfall. You're just next to Tampa, which I would assume you would be required to evacuate there in Riverview, but I'm not quite sure. It really depends on what the county is saying. But with the storm being all the way over here, it's really hard to say what our data is going to read by the time it gets to here. So once it gets to here, we'll have better data for Florida, sadly. But it'll be really, really close by then. We've already got those two cities that are being spammed, so we'll see if we can catch another one. Thanks for the follows, guys. Much appreciate it. It's going to help us be able to continue to bring the weather for you guys in the future. Ooh, that is a new one that I have not seen, so let's see if we can get that one. Sorry if I mispronounce it. Kissimmee, Florida. That is in the red just south of the line. It's pretty close to Orlando too, so I would expect heavy rain to possibly also have wind of 80 to 120 in Kissimmee, Florida, just south of Orlando. Looks like the eye is just going to be just northwest of Kissimmee, Florida as well. So I would expect wind to be a little bit stronger as well. So in the 120s for wind in that area. Let's see if we can catch another town. Let's see. Boynton Beach. Boynton Beach, Florida. That doesn't appear to be in the red, so you're clear of that, which is good, because the red is going to be the worst of it. Anywhere in the red is the worst. We'll look ahead here. And we're looking at Boynton Beach right here at the moment. Just north of Miami by a bit. Looks like on the 9th you're going to have rain off and on most of the day. Pretty expected. Looks like you might actually luck out for the most part there. I would expect just some moderate to possibly heavy rain there. That's pretty lucky from what the radar is showing, because it skips right over it. That is really lucky. Alright, I'm gonna have to mute a couple people because they are just spamming the same stuff over and over that I've already gone over. Sorry for you two that are being muted. Davenport, Florida. We'll check Davenport again. And for those that are probably wondering about Miami, I'm sure people are. Miami, Florida is okay. You're expecting moderate to heavy rain, and that is it in Miami, Florida over the next few days. It's really shocking to me, trust me, but Miami, Florida is actually going to be okay. Davenport, Florida. In the red zone just south of the center line, pretty close to Orlando and Kissimmee as well, so I would expect heavy rain and possibly some strong winds. At least shingles, siding, possible damage there, possible broken windows from the strong wind, because looking at it, just lost it for a second there. There we go. Not far off from the eye. You'll be, the closest that you'll probably be to the eye is about 45 miles away from it. So I would expect some strong wind upwards of 100 to 115. Let's see if we can catch another town here. Oh, my radars are messing up for some reason. Alright, let's see if I can catch another town here. Anytime, I am always happy to help you guys. I'll be here tomorrow, probably over the next 2 to 3 days. I'll try to keep track of this on live stream. Merritt Island. I don't think I've actually tracked an island before. Wow, that's actually ironic because I've been there. Alright, that is in the red zone. So I would expect heavy rain to moderate rain. Let's look ahead for Merritt Island. I don't know why they keep pushing the storm back, because now it's saying it'll hit land on the night of the 10th, which is weird. Again, they keep updating this as it goes, so I'm expecting tomorrow to have the best information possible. But earlier today, it said landfall would be at 6 in the morning on the 10th of Thursday. But now it's saying at 1500, which is late in the afternoon on Thursday for the 10th. But it looks like the eye is just going to be north of Merritt Island, so I would expect some extreme strong wind because it's going straight through Orlando here. So I would expect some extreme strong wind up to 130, 135. Let's see if we can capture another town and help some more folks out here. Port St. Lucie. Just barely in that red. So let's see what it's saying about that, how close it's going to be. On the 9th, it's going to be rain off and on for most of Florida. The 10th and the 11th is what I'd be concerned about. We're looking at Port St. Lucie right now. Looks like it's going to be just rain off and on, possibly some heavy rain, not much more. Most of the towns and cities south of the main line here, this being the main line right here, most of the places south are just going to have some heavy rain and winds up to maybe 70 and 80 mile an hour speed. But everything north is going to expect a lot more. Of course, the aftermath of the storm could bring tornadoes later on. Looking at these red spots down in here, that could get stronger and produce tornadoes. So that could lead to more devastation down south. But it's too early to fully tell at the moment. Let's see if we can track another town for people. I see. Alvarado, Florida. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. That is in the red, just northeast of Orlando. And Orlando is going to get the eye of the storm, so I would expect the eye to go through there as well. Let's look at the model. Let's skip ahead. The 9th is just going to be rain off and on most part. On the 10th is when it's going to get worse. The 10th is definitely where it's going to get worse though. Looking at the eye though, it definitely deforms right here because you can't really see the eye anywhere. But then it reforms right over Orlando, which is right next to the place that we were just looking up. So I would expect some strong winds, some super heavy rain, winds up to 135 minor wind speed there. Anywhere within this circle, I would expect that. Let's see if we can track another town for other people. Libelli, Florida. That is just out of the red zone, but you got storm surge just off to the west. So that could lead to flooding later on. Let's skip ahead a little bit. We'll go past the 9th because that's just rain off and on. During Lisa, we're tracking that place right now. Looks like heavy rain overnight on the 9th through the 10th. Leading into the morning with super heavy rain, possible hail here too. And then it clears up for a little bit here around 12 p.m. on the 10th. Leading further into the day. So it looks like it'll be okay there in LaBelle, Florida. But you are pretty close to that red zone, so I would expect some decent winds to possibly happen. But it doesn't look like it's going to be much. Let's see if we can find another town for those that are looking. I don't even know how I would pronounce that, honestly, so I am so sorry. But Panther, we are looking at your town next here. Right here, hopefully you guys can see that okay. Most of the 8th and the 9th is just going to be rain. It's a light rain for the most part. As we go to the 10th, it's going to get heavy rain. With the tail end of it being down here, I would expect possible tornadoes to form. So you would have a tornado watch or a possible tornado warning that could be in effect later on. Anywhere I'd say in this blue area, that's where I would be eerie of tornadoes to happen. But it just depends on if the weather is right for it, which it could be. It looks like it's just going to be some heavy rain to moderate rain there because most of the eye is up north a bit more. But for anybody within the red area, which is now the blue box, anybody in this area, you can expect some extremely heavy rain to heavy wind or strong winds up to 135 for those of you along this line here. Let's see if we can find another town though. Sadly, I'm only seeing most of the comments that are actually followed. So if you're following, I can actually see your comments. I don't know why TikTok is bugged like that though. I see Lisa's comment here for Moorhaven though. See if we can track Moorhaven. That's so weird why it's not popping up for me at that moment. There we go, Spring Hill is the closest to that. So that's in the red, just north of the main line. So the eye is more than likely just going to be south of that, if I'm correct, if not right over it. But on the 10th, expecting some super heavy rain. And then towards the late afternoon and later night on the 10th, I would expect strong winds upwards of 120, 135 for this area here. if we can find another town. We'll probably keep going live here for another 15 minutes. So 15 minutes. I see Brandon, Florida being spammed. Brandon, Florida is just east of Tampa, so I would suggest evacuating. Tampa is required to be evacuated at the moment. Tampa, Florida is required to be evacuated. So anywhere, I'd say within 100, not 100, but more, so 50-mile radius of Tampa, Florida, I would suggest evacuating. So anywhere in this blue circle, I would suggest either moving a little bit south or a little bit north. Pretty much anywhere off this line from about 100 to 150 miles. What about there is 150? So anywhere in here is where you can expect the strongest to happen. Anywhere in that blue circle. That's where the strongest bit is going to be. You're going to have heavier rain regardless, possible hail, winds up to 100 at least in this circle, the blue circle. Trying to make sure that both screens can see that, whether you're on landscape or portrait. But anywhere within this blue circle is going to be heavier rain regardless, and strong winds up to 100 to 120. Let's see if we can't find a few more towns for people. I see Osceola, Florida, if I'm pronouncing that right. Sorry if I'm not. That is north of the line. So let's look at that a little bit more in detail for Hurricane Milton. And Hurricane Milton isn't said to make landfall until the 10th at 6 in the morning. I believe that'll be a little bit later than that. Honestly, around 12 p.m. if not later. Hold on, let me read this message real quick that I just got from my other storm chaser. Trying to help me fix the chat, because right now it's stuck on followers only mode, I guess. I don't know. Oh, and unclick followers. That makes so much more sense. Now I can see everybody's chat. That's gonna be hard to keep up. I am so sorry. I kind of regret that. Oh well, at least that's fixed now. Now I can see everybody. Alright, let's look for another town though real quick. See if I can catch one. Thanks for the follow, appreciate it. All the follows that you guys are giving me, if I reach 1,000, I'll be able to continue providing weather updates for you guys. But if I don't reach 1,000, I think within 14 days or something like that, then I won't be able to, sadly. So each follow really helps me be able to provide weather for you guys, just saying. Of course, following is not required. I see Palm Bay. Palm Bay, Florida. Definitely heavy rain looking at that. You're gonna be south of the main line, but looking at it, I'd say you're gonna get some heavy rain and heavy wind at some point. From what they're saying, the update here on where the eye is, moving it south from Palm Coast, Florida, and more into this area, it looks like it's going to be stronger wind for Palm Bay now. Palm Coast and Palm Bay, I would expect winds upwards of 80 to 115, maybe 120 for Palm Bay and Palm Coast. 2 for 1, about 114, 115 miles apart, but anything about 130 miles away from the center line, we'll expect some strong wind upwards to 100, 110 at least. Do I think it will shift south? I'm pretty sure it will. I'm pretty sure it'll shift more south as it gets closer, but most of our information is going to be more accurate tomorrow, I'd say. Cape Coral. I think I've seen Cape Coral a couple times. Let's see if we can find that again. Cape Coral, Florida. Yep, there it is. That's going to be in a storm surge, and that storm surge has gusts up to 70, wind 50 to 40 mile an hour. Potential wind greater than 110. It'll be a category 3 when it makes landfall from what they're saying. Peak storm surge intuition, they're saying it's going to be 7 to 10 feet above the ground from what they're predicting. Plan for extreme life-threatening storm surge, flooding greater than 9 feet above ground. So they're saying anywhere between 7 to 10 feet tall for the storm surge. So if you're along the coastal line, I would definitely be prepared for that. Let's see if I can capture another town. We got 10 minutes, depending on how many people we have in here in the next 10 minutes at least. 5 minutes, honestly. Ooh, let's see if I can find a town name that's being said most often. I see. Scene Point St. Lucie earlier. Most of these are all different names, which is interesting. So what I'll do for that case is we'll just go over the main thing real quick. Anything within this red border, which is now the blue box, anything within here can expect winds in between 80 to 130. And it's going to be heavy rain, of course, later throughout the day on the 10th through the 11th. On the 9th, it's going to be light rain to moderate rain, and then it's going to pick up. I'll see if I can capture a town name this time. Winter Park, Florida. Winter Park, Florida is just in Orlando, which Orlando is going to get the I. So the I means 120 plus mile an hour wind for Winter Park, Florida. So anything within this I right here and around in this area can expect winds to 135, and out here I would say about 120. Let's see if we can see another town name real quick though before we go here soon. High Acres. High Acres. I see you, Brianna. That's going to be outside of the red, so that's a good sign to start. We'll back it up to the 8th. Looks like it's just going to be moderate rain on the 9th, off and on. And then overnight, you can start to expect some heavy rain in Leah Acres. Looks like it's just going to be some heavy rain though, but you are pretty close to that red zone, so I would expect some winds in between 40 to 50, if not higher, mile an hour wind. Let's see if we can capture another city here. Port Orange, Florida. Port Orange, Florida is really close to Daytona, and Daytona was pretty much in the eye last time I checked. It did shift a little south though. But it looks like on the 9th we're expecting rain. Then we're expecting some heavy rain early morning on the 10th. Could could turn into hail eventually later in the night on the 10th. But then you have the eye right next to you, right at the crack of dawn on the 11th. So I would expect some heavy wind up to 130 here. So I would definitely be careful, take caution, or plan to evacuate in these areas here. Let's see if we can do one more town, last town. We'll do that one that Galactic mentioned, because it is a very commonly said one. If I can actually spell it correctly is my issue. Auburndale, Florida. That, yeah, it's pretty close to the line. I can see why it's a commonly said town. Let's backtrack to the 8th, and let's go through the list again for it. In the morning of the 9th, on Wednesday, we're expecting rain here. In Auburndale. And then on the 10th in the morning, we're expecting some heavy rain near 3 a.m., 6 a.m. And then it'll just be off and on heavy rain for quite a few hours, really. Up until 12 p.m. on the 10th for Thursday. Then we'll start expecting some heavy wind to start taking over that rain. I'd say about 70 to 80 mile-an-hour wind speed here because the eye is pretty close. And then later on maybe up to 95. Could even be stronger than that, upwards to 120 even. Later in the day though, for this town that we have marked, Auburndale. That was the last town for the day, so we'll just do a little sweep of what the storm looks like real quick over the next few days. For those of you that are still asking town names, I'll be back tomorrow to keep track of the weather and see how strong it gets. Tomorrow we will have better data. It'll be more accurate as they're gathering data today. Symphony, what are you? Polk County, Davenport? I believe Davenport was one of those towns that needed to be evacuated. There was a website, Galactic has the link for that, if you don't mind, Galactic. If you check that Florida website, it shows all the counties that are required to evacuate versus not required to evacuate, but many counties are required to evacuate. I know Tampa, Florida is required to evacuate at the moment. Those names that he said there, Galactic Weather, those names that he just said, Charlotte, Citrus, Hillsbury, Lee, those towns are definitely required to be evacuated. What's the risk for St. Petersburg? The St. Petersburg is going to be pretty much the same as Tampa. So if you're in St. Petersburg, I would also suggest evacuating. Daytona Beach it really varies for Daytona Beach because if it keeps shifting the way that National Weather Service is taking it, it'll just be strong wind and rain for Daytona Beach. But go to that website right there, floridadisaster.org. That'll tell you your county if you need to evacuate or not over the next couple of days. Tomorrow we will have better information though on what the storm's going to do and where it's going to be. Overnight, I'm expecting the storm to hit around here in this area. So we'll probably see the storm hit right about here overnight, and I'll probably be back to track it after that. But that is going to be it for tonight. If you guys come back tomorrow, I'll be able to tell you more updated information and more accurate information tomorrow as the days get closer to it. But I appreciate all the help and support today, guys. Appreciate all the follows as well. It really helps me be able to keep live streaming this to you guys because, as you know, TikTok has a rule to not live stream unless you're over 1,000 followers. I'm doing a beta test, so I only have 14 days to get 1,000 followers. So if you guys help me be able to reach that goal, I'll be able to keep live streaming weather updates for you guys as well. This is Radar Omega, the app. That's what we're using to track weather. Radar Omega. That's the app that I'm using. You can download it on your mobile phone. You can download it on your computer. It does cost $10 to buy at one time. And if you're wanting more alerts and updates and stuff within Radar Omega, it costs $12 monthly, which is not bad. But visit floridadisaster.org for if you need to evacuate or not question. So if you need to evacuate or not and you don't know, visit www.floridadisaster.org. That'll let you know. I would suggest going to either Miami, Florida or Tallahassee, Florida for evacuation, or you can go to one of the shelters that I'm sure the military or Coast Guard or any of those guys have around in Florida. I'm sure there's a ton of them already set up and ready. I don't think it's going to turn north, like more into Tennessee, Virginia. I don't think it's going to go into those states, but Georgia, South Carolina, and North Carolina is definitely going to get some rain. I don't think they're going to get any severe wind, though, so that'll be good. But they're definitely going to get some heavy rain, from what it's showing here. Looks like it's going to be Savannah, Georgia, Charleston, South Carolina, Wilmington, North Carolina, Jacksonville, North Carolina. Those few towns are going to be the main northern states. Alrighty guys, I'm going to end it here for the night though. I will be back tomorrow, so feel free to stop by and check again on any new updates. But I am going to end the stream here for today. Thank you for everybody for all the follows, all the gifts, and all the support. Hopefully we can reach that 1,000 or maybe 500 soon. That'd be cool to be able to keep producing live streams for you guys. But thank you guys so much for watching. That's going to be it for today. We will see you guys tomorrow for more weather updates.